What's up guys, Lon here from Android Authority, and we're here at Computex 2016 taking a look at the Moto G4 and G4 Plus. These devices were actually announced a few weeks ago, but we haven't had the opportunity to check them out until now, so we wanted to bring you guys a quick hands-on and go over what's similar and different between these two devices. So starting off with the design, they're completely identical. They're the same size, the same dimensions, and they're made of the same plastic materials with the faux metallic trim going around the sides. The back cover is removable, but the battery, however, is not. This basically just gives you the option to swap out the back plate with different color shells, and like the previous Moto G, you can also customize the G4 and G4 Plus to your heart's content with Moto Maker. The build quality isn't going to blow you away, but the plastic design still feels pretty sturdy, and it's really comfortable and easy to hold thanks to the textured back. It's also not that big of a phone, so one-handed use shouldn't be much of a problem for most people. They both also feature the same 5.5-inch 1080p IPS LCD display protected by Gorilla Glass 3. Again, nothing amazing, but definitely a pretty solid looking display overall with good colors, brightness, and viewing angles, and it's by far the best screen we've ever seen on a Moto G in terms of resolution and quality. Where you'll find the first major difference is right below the display. The G4 Plus is the only one out of the G4 lineup that has a fingerprint sensor, but unlike other phones that have a front-mounted fingerprint sensor, the G4 Plus's does not double as a home button simply due to the fact that the G4 Plus and the rest of the G4 lineup for that matter use on-screen keys. Internally, they're both packing the same Snapdragon 617 processor, but where they differ is in the RAM. The standard Moto G4 comes with 2 gigs of RAM with either 16 or 32 gigs of storage, whereas the G4 Plus will come with either 2, 3, or 4 gigs of RAM depending on whether you opt for 16, 32, or 64 gigs of storage respectively. Other specs include micro SD card expansion, IPX7 water resistance, a nicely sized 3000 mAh battery, especially for a mid-range device, and Motorola's turbo charging capabilities. They both also share the same 5 megapixel front-facing shooter, but the rear cameras are actually quite different. The Moto G4 has a 13 megapixel f2.0 aperture lens with phase detection autofocus and dual tone LED flash, while the G4 Plus has a higher resolution 16 megapixel sensor also at f2.0 with both phase detection and laser autofocus along with the same dual tone LED flash. The software is pretty much what you would expect from a Motorola phone. The G4 and G4 Plus are running a pretty close to stock build of Android Marshmallow, and it's a really clean and bloatware-free experience. You do still have the very useful Motorola additions like Moto Display for those battery-saving notifications, and Moto Actions to do various different gestures like chopping twice to turn on the camera flash or twisting your wrist to launch the camera. You'll also find a few other extras like this Motorola clock widget, but otherwise Motorola hasn't done much else to alter the Android experience, which is awesome because it helps keep the experience very snappy and responsive. If you want to know more about the Moto G4 and G4 Plus, including pricing and availability, check out the written post at androidauthority.com. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, stay tuned here to Android Authority because we are your source for all things Android.